A. All right, let's get it. Let's go. We got A, my favorite, the greatest president we've ever had in history, Barack Obama. Why restrict good gun owners? Resident as president on town hall. Let's do it.
Good guys. Why then do you and Hillary want to control and restrict and limit gun manufacturers, gun owners, and the responsible use of guns and ammunition to the rest of us, the good guys, instead of holding the bad guys accountable for their actions? And Mr. President, if I may, I'd like to use Chicago, your hometown, a city that has some of the strictest gun laws in the nation, a city that for decades and still is under Democratic control, a city that has an outrageous and even embarrassing murder rate as my first example. Why can't we round up these thugs, these drug dealers and gang members, and hold them accountable for their actions, or allow the good people in Chicago access to firearms to protect themselves?
Good. All right.
And the poise of Obama, because thugs, criminals, crooks, all kind of stuff like that. You know that white language that they be using when they're racist as hell. But the poise of Obama, oh, sure, let's talk about it. Like, you know, we'll talk about exactly what you want to talk about. We'll get to the point, and we'll see if you accept the point.
All right. Well, let me. It's a multi-part question, so let me just say a couple things. First of all, the notion that I, or Hillary, or Democrats, or whoever you want to choose, are hell-bent on taking away folks' guns is just not true. And I don't care how many times the NRA says it. I'm about to leave office. There have been more guns sold since I've been president than just about any time in U.S. history. There are enough guns for every man, woman, and child in this country. And at no point have I ever proposed confiscating guns from responsible gun owners. So it's just not true. What I have said is precisely what you suggested, which is, why don't we treat this like every other thing that we use?
Keep in mind, this is like, look at that. Mr. President that can speak clear sentences, make a point that we can all understand, and be like, okay, boom, get where you're coming from.
We used to have really bad auto fatality rates. The auto fatality rate has actually dropped precipitously, drastically, since I was a kid.
Yes.
Why is that? We decided we had seatbelt laws. We decided to have manufacturers put airbags in place. We decided to crack down on drunk driving and texting. We decided to redesign roads so that they were less likely to have a car bank. We studied what is causing these fatalities using science and data and evidence, and then we slowly treated it like the public health problem it was, and it got reduced. We are not allowed to do any of that when it comes to guns, because people, if you propose anything, it is suggested that we're trying to wipe away gun rights and impose tyranny and martial law. Do you know that Congress will not allow the Center for Disease Control to study gun violence? They're not allowed to study it, because the notion is that by studying it the same way we do with traffic accidents, somehow that's going to lead to everybody's guns being confiscated. When we talked about background checks, if you buy a car, if you want to get a license, first of all, you got to get a license. You have to take a test. You have to. People have to know that you know how to drive. You don't have to do any of that with respect to buying a gun. And when we talked about doing effective background checks, it was resisted, because the notion was we were going to take your guns away. I just came from a meeting today in the Situation Room in which I've got people who we know have been on ISIL websites, living here in the United States, U.S. citizens. And we're allowed to put them on the no-fly list when it comes to airlines. But because of the National Rifle Association, I cannot prohibit those people from buying a gun. This is somebody who is a known ISIL sympathizer.
That's right, too. I just looked it up.
And if he wants to walk in to a gun store or a gun show right now and buy as many weapons as ammo as he can, nothing's prohibiting him from doing that, even though the FBI knows who that person is. So, sir, I just have to say respectfully that there is a way for us to have common sense gun laws. There is a way for us to make sure that lawful, responsible gun owners like yourself are able to use it for sporting, hunting, protecting yourself. But the only way we're going to do that is if we don't have a situation in which anything that is proposed is viewed as some tyrannical destruction of the Second Amendment. And that's how the issue too often gets framed.
So, I played this video. I watched this video before. But I played this video because there was a debate I had with a friend of mine where he was talking about Obama was just trying to ban guns. Like, he never really cared about gun laws and all kind of things like that. He was just trying to do that. And I purposely did it. I don't care how many views this video gets. I'm going to send this to the friend because I want him to see specifically what Obama had to say about guns. Like, he didn't want to ban guns from lawful gun owners. He just wanted to find a way to take guns out of the hands of people who are possible at being a threat to the American people. Period. The question the guy asked, right? This is the common question that a lot of, like, I don't want to say Republicans have, is why do you and Hillary, want to limit guns from lawful gun owners? No one said that. No one said that. No one ever said that. He didn't say that anywhere in that video. I'm trying to figure out what part of that video did he say that in. Not a single part. And he believed in the Second Amendment. It's just he saw that there's an issue within the Second Amendment existing amongst the country. And how to solve the issue is definitely a conversation that we all can have, and it makes a lot of people upset because guns are so woven into the culture of our society that it does make a lot of people upset to have that conversation. But there's definitely a conversation that needs to be had because, again, when the Founding Fathers grafted the doctrine for the Second Amendment, I don't think they could have ever, of course not, could have ever predicted that we would have automatic assault rifles that could blow away at least 30 Americans in one place at one time. Like, so there's that debate, but then also I think the Founding Fathers understood that at some point government could become oppressive because that's what they fought their way out of, oppressive government. So it's definitely a conversation. But anyways, y'all, I'm out. Peace.